What Ronaldinho said about Messi after the 2026 final between Argentina and Spain is, without a doubt, the most heartbreaking and emotional statement ever delivered by a legend in football history. Coming from the very man who witnessed Messi's rise from the start, who shared a dressing room with him when Leo was just a teenager, assisted his very first goal for Barca, and stood by him. These words, spoken 21 years later, have sent chills across the entire sporting world. But that is only the beginning. If Ronaldinho's raw confession brings tears to your eyes, wait until you hear what Spain's captain, Rodri, had to say about Messi and Argentina. It will leave you completely stunned, with either shock or anger, depending on who you support. Rodri dropped what is easily the most explosive bombshell of the entire tournament, and nobody saw it coming from a World Cup winning captain. Stay with me until the very end, because I am bringing you the full, unfiltered breakdown, word for word, what Ronaldinho confessed about Messi and why he feels football treated him unfairly, alongside Rodri's full statement directly accusing Messi and the entire Argentine squad of something massive. These are exclusive details you won't find anywhere else, including Ronaldinho's final emotional message that moved millions to tears. I'm laying it all out without censorship, cuts, or holding anything back. So make sure to hit that like button and subscribe right now, because this is the most complete analysis of this final you will find anywhere online. And if you think you already know what took place, trust me, you don't know the half of it. The leaked private message from Ronaldinho is 10 times more impactful than any headline you've read, and Rodri's drama has a secondary reveal that hasn't even hit the Spanish media yet. Grab a seat, because every single minute of this gets more intense. Let's set the scene. The 2026 World Cup Final at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Over 80,000 passionate fans filled the venue, with tens of thousands of Argentines traveling across the globe just to witness Messi lift his second World Cup trophy. Millions more were glued to screens in every corner of the world. The atmosphere was so dense you could cut it with a knife. This was no ordinary match. It was the ultimate climax. It was the moment that would decide if Messi, at 39 years old, would step away as the most decorated player in history with another World Cup title to his name, or if Spain's phenomenal new generation would complete their dominant run and be crowned champions of the planet. Consider the sheer gravity of this moment. We aren't talking about a standard fixture. This was Lionel Messi taking his final shot in international football, playing the last 90 minutes for Argentina against a relentless Spanish side that dominated the entire tournament. The pressure on both teams was unimaginable, but especially on Leo. When you are 39 and facing your final shot at glory, every single touch carries immense weight, and any misstep can haunt you for the rest of your life. The final itself was an unbelievable thriller. While I won't give you a play-by-play breakdown, here's what you need to know. Spain won. Spain lifted the World Cup trophy, displaying a brand of football that mesmerized the globe. However, it was the chaos on the pitch, the intense friction, the subtle mind games, and the heated exchanges that sparked two of the most explosive post-match statements in World Cup history. One born of pure love, the other of utter war, and both centered around the exact same person, Lionel Messi. Before we dive into Ronaldinho's words, it's crucial to understand his emotional bond with Messi. Without this context, his reaction won't carry the weight it deserves. Ronaldinho and Messi aren't just two legends who happen to be teammates at Barcelona. Their bond runs far deeper. Ronaldinho was the first to recognize the genius inside that quiet kid from Rosario. He provided the assist for Leo's first professional goal. When others saw just a young prospect, Ronaldinho put his arm around him and declared to the world, "This kid will be the best in history." He said it publicly back in 2005 when Messi was only 17. At the time, it sounded wild, but today it stands as the most accurate prediction in sports history. That is why, when the final whistle blew and Spain began celebrating, the broadcast cameras immediately sought out Ronaldinho. Everyone knew that if anyone understood the weight of that moment for Messi, it was the man who guided his first steps, loved him like a brother, and supported his journey from behind the scenes. And what he had to say will break your heart. To fully grasp Rodri's rage and Ronaldinho's sorrow, you have to look at what unfolded during those 90 minutes. From the opening whistle, the tension between Argentina and Spain was boiling over. You could feel it in every challenge, every push, and every reaction after a foul. Argentina entered the match with intense aggression, aiming to disrupt Spain's rhythm early on. But Spain held their ground, proving that matches are won with the ball, not with conflict. This sparked an invisible war, the kind the cameras often miss, but the players feel acutely on the pitch. Whispers in the ear after every whistle, subtle stomps, uncalled elbows during corner kicks, and constant mind games. According to Rodri, the driving force behind this psychological warfare was one specific individual. And yes, you can guess who he meant. Now, consider Ronaldinho's perspective during the match. He wasn't watching from a luxury box or an official event. He was sitting right in the stands among the crowd, wearing a Brazil shirt, but with his heart completely divided. Even as a proud Brazilian, Ronaldinho views Messi as family. Watching 39-year-old Leo sprint down the wing, exhausting every last drop of energy, was deeply emotional for him. Fans captured videos of Ronaldinho in the stands with glassy eyes and a clenched jaw, watching every play as if it were a final goodbye. While it hasn't been confirmed in official statements, sources close to their inner circle reveal that, right before the match, Ronaldinho sent Leo a long, deeply personal private text message. Those who know about it claim Messi read it in the locker room right before walking out onto the field, and it brought him to tears. Imagine that, Messi, a player famous for his calm demeanor in high-pressure finals, getting emotional over a message from Ronaldinho right before the biggest game of his life. That speaks volumes about their connection. When the final whistle finally blew, Spain erupted into celebration while the Argentine squad collapsed in defeat. Messi stood completely frozen in the center circle, hands on his hips, staring up at the sky. As fireworks went off, Spanish players embraced, and "We are the champions" echoed across the stadium. Leo remained isolated on the pitch, processing the reality that his final World Cup run had come to an end. There would be no second chances. His final attempt was over. It was at that exact moment, broadcast to over 2 billion viewers, that Ronaldinho broke down crying in the stands. This is an exaggeration. Ronaldinho was genuinely weeping as he watched Messi stand alone in the center of the pitch. The cameras captured him overwhelmed with emotion, being comforted by those around him. The man famous for having the biggest, brightest smile in football was completely heartbroken for his friend. Hours later, after composing himself, Ronaldinho spoke to the press, uttering words that have shattered internet view records. But before we get to his emotional interview, we must address Rodri's explosive statements, which ignited a massive debate across the football world. Rodri entered the post-match mixed zone with his World Cup medal around his neck, champagne still in his hair, and the trophy just meters away. Instead of offering standard PR answers, he delivered a jaw-dropping statement. Rodri alleged that Messi and Argentina did everything in their power to force the Spanish players into losing their composure, aiming to get someone red-carded and leave Spain at a numerical disadvantage. He stated clearly that, from the first minute, Argentina prioritized physical provocation and chaos over actually playing football, seeking to disrupt the match and provoke cards rather than create chances. Coming from Spain's captain, these accusations hit like a thunderbolt. But Rodri didn't stop there. He directed his claim straight at Lionel Messi himself. Rodri claimed that Messi played dirty throughout the match, using subtle gestures, words, and uncaptured actions to get under the Spanish player's skin. He argued that the figure the world views as a soft-spoken, humble hero spent 90 minutes trying to bait his opponents into mistakes. If Rodri's account is accurate, it highlights a starkly different side of Messi. At 39, in his final international match, resorting to mental tactics to gain an edge is a controversial choice. If a strategy relies on forcing an opponent's red card rather than outscoring them, it invites heavy criticism. Rodri added that Argentina's approach was a deliberate, organized team strategy straight from their preparation, to target key Spanish players and provoke them constantly. However, Rodri pointed out that Spain refused to take the bait. He explained that, despite the constant provocations, the team stayed focused on their game plan, agreeing in the locker room not to react to any mind games. They chose to let their football do the talking. Rodri summarized the victory with 4 simple words that went viral globally. Football was the winner. By this, He implied that the team committed to playing constructive football triumphed over a strategy focused on disruption and provocation. If Rodri's words were pure fire, Ronaldinho's response was pure emotion. Speaking hours after the match, Ronaldinho gave a deeply moving interview. The first thing he stated was that Messi deserved to finish his career lifting that trophy, not just as a wish, but as recognition of everything Leo has given to the sport, all his sacrifices, and his ability to carry his team time and again. He noted that football can be deeply cruel to its greatest figures. Hearing a Brazilian legend state publicly that an Argentine icon deserved the World Cup carries immense weight, setting aside one of the fiercest rivalries in sports out of pure respect and love. Then came the line that went viral worldwide. With a cracked voice, Ronaldinho simply stated, "I love Messi so much." There was no hyperbole, just genuine affection. It wasn't one professional commenting on another. It was an older brother reflecting on a kid he helped raise 22 years prior. Ronaldinho shared how proud he felt of Leo's journey, recalling the quiet 17-year-old who entered the Barcelona locker room years ago. He stated that watching Messi evolve into the greatest player in history was one of the greatest joys of his entire life, ranking alongside his own World Cup and Ballon d'Or wins. Then Ronaldinho dropped his boldest claim yet. He stated that, even without winning the final, Messi should have been named the player of the tournament. He argued that Leo was the most impactful player of the 2026 World Cup, carrying his team to the final with vital goals and assists despite his age. This leaves football fans with a fascinating debate. Is Messi the tragic hero who gave everything and fell just short of the ultimate fairy tale ending? Or is he the fierce veteran who used every trick in the book when pure physical ability wasn't enough? Perhaps both are true at the same time. A player can be extraordinarily decisive while simultaneously using aggressive gamesmanship in high-stakes moments. In the unreleased portion of Ronaldinho's interview, when asked if Messi should retire, he fell silent before saying that every player knows when their time has come. He added that, if this was indeed Leo's final match for Argentina, then football owes him an apology because the sport has often presented him with the cruelest outcomes during his most critical moments. When Rodri was asked if he still acknowledged Messi's talent despite the tension, he paused and noted that, while Messi's brilliance with the ball is unquestionable, his conduct without the ball under intense pressure presents a very different picture. Regardless of which side you lean toward, whether you align with Rodri's criticism or Ronaldinho's devotion, the outcome of the match remains final. Spain are the World Cup champions. Argentina finished as runners-up, and Messi's final World Cup campaign has concluded. Does this outcome tarnish Messi's legacy? For Ronaldinho, absolutely not. His status as the greatest is permanent. For critics who share Rodri's view, the tactical friction leaves a debated final impression. To close his interview, a reporter asked Ronaldinho what he would say to Messi if he were standing right in front of him. Ronaldinho replied, "I wouldn't say anything. I would just hug him and never let go." Then he walked away. That is the essence of football: joy, heartbreak, conflict, and deep affection all colliding in one unforgettable final. Now I want to hear from you in the comments below. Is Ronaldinho right? Did Messi deserve the Player of the Tournament award despite losing the final? Or do you agree with Rodri that Argentina relied too heavily on psychological tactics? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Tomorrow, I'm dropping an exclusive follow-up featuring a third statement from inside the Argentine locker room that explains key details left unsaid. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss it, leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with every football fan you know.